Alright, well, I have been racking my brain trying to see if there's a way to get this minion build to work. If there's a way, I haven't been able to find it. You know, I even looked at my build from last season, which seemed to do pretty good. But the reason why it even did as well as it did is because of this blighted aspect. You know, last season it was you deal 120% increased damage. And I had that in a two-handed weapon, so it was actually 240% increased damage. And it was actually up most of the time, for the most part, until you got to one boss, in which case it was up about half the time. That's just how much the Shadowblade passive key was getting triggered. But of course they nerfed it, so now it's only 48%. There's really not much I could do other than maybe take this out or go back to this and put it in this, but then I would have to get the other aspect, which has my skeletal warriors deal shadow damage. I'd probably have to give up this anyways. It's just not worth it. It's just, I mean, just for the, you know, the extra 50% multiplicative damage, and it does not apply to my golem, which is
Father, bring you luck.
stop. To my golem, which is physical damage. Oh no, I'm sorry, it would. I was thinking of different aspect. But to have to give up this grasping veins and this defensive, just for that little bit, it's just not going to make that much of a difference, I don't think. So my only options now, if I want to try anything, is I could either go back to this, which means I'd be losing all the defensive stuff here. But I'd be gaining an extra 200, about 200 damage per second. Which is about 10%. Be gaining the extra lucky hit chance. Extra skeletal mage damage. But I'd be losing a little bit of critical strike, but that's just because it was masterworked. So I'd be losing a good, basically a lot of defense. For this minions deals 501 shadow damage per second. That is, since it's damage over time, that's not getting amped up by, it is getting amped up, because I did test it out a little bit in show you a little bit in the in the training room. It's not just a flat 501. And I'll put this on. So all the 6,000-7,000s you see. Oh, I guess in some of my minions it's amped up to 1,000, others it's 6,000, some it's 7,000, 5,000. Too much over there. Tough to say. It's tough to trying to look at all of them. There was some 900 damage numbers before. Now it's 1,800, 3,000, 3,000, 1,800. The lowest numbers seem to be like in the 20,000s. 28, 20. trying to see if my skeletal priest buffs up some of that damage. Gotta do it the hard way, I guess. Oops, didn't want to do that. Still want my golem. $8.94. I can't even do the well, my golem's damage is it should be taking this 501 damage and multiplying it by 18. Should be 10,000 damage. But it's not. So that means this 961 is not getting boosted up at all. That's horrible. Maybe it's just because it's a boss. 15,000. $458%. That means I should be getting multiplied up by about 5. 5 times that should be about 5,000 damage. Crazy. It's not getting buffed up at all. That makes this Fade Mist relic pretty much worthless. I mean, if it's not getting amplified up at all. What if I take this off? Still the same 894. That's horrible. +3 to Skeletal Warrior Mastery. What if I bring in more? I'm thinking it's just because they're added in. Yep, still that same 894. The reason why these numbers are higher is because they're adding them together. I wonder if it's boosted by my intelligence. Let's see if I take this off. I already took this off, it didn't do anything. Still the same 894, even though I've got less intelligence now. I don't know about these Blizzard game developers. I don't understand. how they come up with some of these things, you know, that things that should work does not work. All right. So that means my only real option left, since this aspect is virtually worthless, if I really wanted to go in the direction of putting on this relic. So Army of the Dead is a possibility, but probably my only really good option would be to use a two-handed weapon here and then just double down on this 45%, turning it to 90%. Or, you know, make it 90% attack speed, which would proc lucky hit, trigger lucky hit factors in more, and so forth. I don't think there's another good aspect I can put in that, in this. Other than like the Army of the Dead one, but I don't like the Army of the Dead one because I don't think it does all that much damage, because they are just general minions, so they don't get any of the bonuses that the Skeletal Mage and the Golem and the Warrior Masteries give. So all they would be doing is doubling their damage for that short period of time. You know, I could even think of just giving this up altogether for something else. Maybe Bone Prison. Maybe Blood Mist. Little bit of extra critical strike chance. Only thing is, I don't think that they attack when I'm in Blood Mist form. I don't think so. I think it's just I'm looking for another skill to replace this, but I think really just the best option, if I were gonna try something else, go for the two-handed weapon. It would have to be something like this with intelligence max life, and maybe the only other thing is getting temerity, which I think is a better protection than soul brand. I can't help but wonder if the developers do this on purpose. Did they really just have it be like a flat? Is it a flat damage? It's not a flat damage per se, is it? $894. I guess it did get amped up a little bit. I wonder what was boosting it, if anything. I don't know. I guess I can play around with it some other time. So I've got Stygian Stones. I've got 13 Stygian Stones. I would like to just keep fighting the blood guy. Because I really want Temerity. I'd like Razor Plate, just to see if Razor Plate can do something. I don't think it can, but... And then at least once fight... I'm sorry, Tormented guy. So what I'm gonna do, I guess, is I'm just going to do Hell Tides to get blood. I think that's the best place to get to the blood. Meanwhile, hopefully be getting a good two-handed weapon. I do not have one. I don't think. Or do I? Not yet. So let's go get the blood. Let's go do... I'm gonna get 5,000 of these thingies, which I don't need. I can probably just get rid of them. These are all tier 3. These are all tier 3. Alright, let me start up a new recording. I'm only going to play for about an hour, maybe do one hell tide, maybe a couple of hell tides. And I will be back.